lead me home.
Check. I didn't hear the track. Hold on. Check. Alright, bet.
Cut for seconds. Really quick, yeah. This is Michael Studio, take one.
What we originally talked about, the concept I came to you with first was like the reincarnated slave. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the first verse is, and what you came up with right off the dome was like something about him being on the block is hot.
Yeah.
Which is like a street phrase.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the auction block.
Right. That's deep.
Or
See,
that's
exactly
fucking great.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
Does the tone need to be anti-cop or anti the current system?
It has to be pro-justice. Yeah. That's what we want. Pro-justice. Okay. This is about justice. The reason we have to say Black Lives Matter is only because the cops who kill black people do not get sentenced to jail.
True.
That's why I'm here, to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is how unity happens.
The verses are all from different eras, different black experiences from different time frames. And the first one is done. It's about the slave era. The second one's gonna be about the civil rights era, the 60s. And then the third verse is gonna be from the perspective of an adolescent in modern day.
There's blood in the water. Go on and choke it down. Down for your father. 'Cause what goes around comes back around.
Hanging on the block on trees, victims of violence too, and taking drags till Eminem recognizable. This strange fruit isn't haze, feel it dividing who's riding versus trying to pour gasoline on the problem, and escape is what I need. A little drink, a little reefer, but I get stopped and get arrested. I'm thrown in prison for treason. The same reason they sent me here, gonna make white folks millionaires in like 50 years.
That needs to be said in the song.
Many came because they wanted to be free to worship as they chose. Some came because they wanted to get away from the tyranny and cruelty of kings. But the Negroes were brought here by wicked men who traded in slaves.
The sound of old school hip hop is timeless. And it's timeless in comparison to any other genre of hip hop, in that it never goes out of style, it never gets old. A simple break beat is always gonna be a break beat, it's always gonna touch the soul. It's something about the drums of boom bap that they just speak right to the soul of the revolutionary. I don't know what it is, but there's something about that drum pattern that says, say what's on your mind and don't hold back. And it's the perfect backdrop for this project because it's so important that hip-hop is represented in this project, because hip-hop is a huge part of what makes the black voice, so powerful in modern day.
The unique thing about this project is both Mike and JT are leaving a lot of space for it to be figured out together in here.
We have one of Jimi Hendrix's guitars here, and we're gonna have JT play that on the track. It's a 1962 Fender Jazzmaster, and then we're gonna probably run it through a 1964 Princeton reverb, and we're gonna get a pretty gritty, distorted tone out of that. So should be really fun.
Yeah, Woodstock in '69, in the midst of the Vietnam War and the assassination of MLK, Hendrix used his instrument to sort of channel his rage and his disappointment and his hope.
Playing the Star Spangled Banner in front of 200,000 people, and what that meant for a black man, I think to do that said a lot about where they were and where things were going, and here we are 50 years later.
The less the space is between the kick and snare, the stronger the neck snap is, And that next snap is like, that's the soul. Beats have to make you make a face. If you don't make a face when you hear it, then it's not dope. You know what I'm saying? I call it the ugh face. If you make the ugh face, then it's like, oh yeah. Then the emotion is there. It lays the foundation to talk about shit like we're about to talk about, which is heavy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we're working out some of the transitional parts. We have the verses, the hook. We have the chunks down. Now we're just trying to figure out more specific dynamics on how to transition from section to section. Blood! Hey! Cool. All right. I like it broken up a little. It doesn't need to feel too present, anyways. I mean, it's from a dynamic standpoint, it needs to be set back a little bit. Blood in the water. Go on and choke it down. Down for your father. It's what goes around comes back around. Blood in the water. Go on and choke it down. Down for your father. It's what goes around comes back around.
Yo, I'm just a nigga on the block in chains, with a price on my head, watching a stock exchange. Bought and sold with the promise of being locked in cage. They breaking families unfazed, I just watch amazed. The black market I'm branded, consider inventory. They don't consider me human and still ain't bidding for me. They call us the land of the free. I've seen a different story. Pay a figure, buck break a nigga, get him to build it for me. The pressure seems unreal, I need consent to breathe. They'll whip every slave in the county if I attempt to leave. Probably drawing quarter my family, that's if I just could read. Gut me for my ancient religion, that's if I just believe. This glass ceiling on my life won't shatter. I'm feeling like my black life don't matter, telling me run. Instead I go through my trials with survival, my number one priority, focused on the intelligence of my son.
Sounds incredible. Crushing it. His cadence is perfect today. It's like he's just in it. He's in it. He's swimming in it right now. He's killer.
At what point, it's like, what do we have to do to show the world how fucked up this is?
Yeah.
And then the only thing left to do is fuck shit up.